Hello, welcome to another EM Creations tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can make a simple sort of search script based on a MySQL table. This tutorial we're going to be using MySQL, PHP. We're going to use the MySQL the MySQL improved library. So first we need to do is we need to load up XAMPP as usual. Start the Apache MySQL server. Once that's started, then Apache won't start. You might find this sometimes. There is a problem with a program called Panda Media Booster. Anyway, if you just Control Delete and go to Processes, PMB, Panda Media Booster. This sometimes stops Apache from running. So if you ever have this problem, just remember, just end the Panda Media Booster process, and it should now work. And Apache started. Yay. So now if I go to my home, no, that's the wrong thing, local test server, and I'm going to make, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a database table. So once phpMyAdmin loads up, which is localhost/phpMyAdmin, I'm going to find the table I was using last. See, I've got a lot of tables, it'll probably be a lot easier for you. Test1, was it? Yeah, it's test1. Okay, so here I have, this is the database I was using last time called test1. So I'm going to create a new table, and it's going to have four columns. I'm going to call it products. So I'm going to click Go, create table. Okay, so we're going to have ID, which is going to be serial, and it's going to be auto increment and primary key. We're going to have product. That's going to be the name of the product. So that needs to be a varchar 255. It could be a longish name. I'm going to have a keyword. Again, that can be a long, potentially a long string. So that's varchar 255. And no, sorry, I'm going to have price there. Not I'm going to have. This is going to be price. Sorry. So price is going to be not an integer because you can have decimal points, so it's going to be a double. So a double is price and keyword varchar 255. Save that. Okay, I've now got a table called products. Here it is. I'm going to add some products to this that I'm going to use later on. So I'm going to go to insert. What we're going to do. So in here, I'm not going to enter anything for ID, it will automatically enter that. So I'm going to put in spade. The price is going to be 6, and the keyword is going to be garden, because it's a gardening tool. Click Go. I'm going to add another few. Trowel. Price 8. It doesn't matter what you put for these, you could put anything you like. Garden again. And then to mix it up, insert, I'm going to put in a mug. That's going to be $1.99. That's kitchen. Where are we? Go. And what else do we have? And lastly, I'll put in sponge. 50 pence. 0.5. Kitchen. Click Go again. Now if I click products, we now got a table with 4 entries like this. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to open NetBeans. Might take a minute to load up. But what we're going to do is we're going to connect to the database, and we're then going to make a simple form that we can use to search this table when it finally loads up. Really is taking a while now. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is something else I'm working on, so I'm just going to close this. Close. Okay, I'm going to open up the project I was working on in my last tutorial. It's a recent project. It is my first project. Open that up. Might be something I can use from here. Okay, login system. Okay, we've got a config file here. I'm going to reuse that. So I'm going to make a new folder here, and it's going to be called... What am I going to call it? Is there even a folder option? Surely there must be. Folder, there we go. I'm going to call the folder search. So now I've got a table called search. So in here, I'm going to create a new file. It's going to be called, just call it index. Okay, I've got a config file here. This is outside of that directory. But all this is I define the host, which is going to be localhost, the user, the password, which is going to be blank if you're doing locally, and the name of the database, which I've called test1. It then opens up a new connection. If there's a connection error, it will kill the script and show the connection, and show the error message. So what I'm going to do is now, in index of search, I'm going to first of all require that file. So it's going to be dir. Can we go back? I think so. Config.php. I'm just going to see if there's an error, see if that works. Here I'm going to go local test server, my first project, /search. That's a folder. There's no warning, so print hi. Okay, it works. So that has included the file, that the config file, which contains all the database information. Now, the ... means go back a directory, and dir is a constant in PHP, which defines the directory you're currently in, which is always the directory you're currently in. So that's how I've required that file. So now everything in here should be available. Everything in the config file should be available in this code here. So I've got a variable called MySQL. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to do is print a form. So bit of HTML. Action is going to be, in fact, no. If I leave action blank, it's always this page. But just for measure, I'll put it in anyway. So it's going to be index.php. I could just do that. New line. All I'm doing here is just making the HTML form. Okay, so that's the form. Method equals posted. Yeah, I'm going to use post. Okay, so now I'm going to, how my search form is going to look at the beginning is just going to say at the top, I'm going to put a little h2 search products. And here I'm just in the form, I'm going to have a an input box, a text field, type equals text. I'm going to give it an ID and a name, search query, or search text, name equals search text. Okay, that will output very simple text field. Here's some new line tags. Sorry, you couldn't see it that then. Print. Now I'm just going to put in a button, a submit button, to submit the form. Submit. Okay, and it's just going to say search. Now, if I go back and refresh the page, I have a little search box. At the moment, it's not going to do anything. So what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to put an if statement at the top. If is set. No, yeah. If is set. If is set. What is it called? Post search submit button. This will check if the form has basically been submitted. If that variable's set, unless someone's trying to sort of do some hacky stuff, it means the form's been submitted. So if is set, search submit button, then the form's been submitted. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the text that we get back from the user. And actually, we're going to check if it's empty first. So if not is set or empty, post search text. Need to change that as text. So if the search text wasn't set or if it's empty, if the search text wasn't set, then we're just going to kill the script and say error search text empty, like that. If it was set, however, we're going to, first of all, we're going to clean the string. So search text equals, we're going to use the MySQL variable that's defined in config here. It's an object, MySQL real escape string post search text. That will clean the string, means it should be safe to use in a query. Yeah. So next, all we're going to do is we're going to do a simple SQL query. So we're going to say result equals, in fact, it should be query. Query equals MySQL query select. We're gonna want to return everything. So select all. That's what the star sign means. From what we're doing right now. From products where, and this is where the SQL we're going to use. We're going to use a like query. This search at the moment is just going to search by the product. So you can use the like query in SQL to sort of not say if something is exactly what it is, but if it's similar. And you can use wildcards, which is a percentage sign like that, to sort of say anything this side of this text. I'll show you what I mean. So select all from products where product, because that's the name of the column, like, and we're going to open up some. See what I did? I've opened up these string delimiters. That's an SQL string delimiter, and that's a PHP string delimiter. So we're going to go $sign, not $sign, percentage sign, percentage sign, search text. Okay. What that does is that will select everything from products where the product name is similar or contains what we've searched for. The next step is we need to check if that returned anything. So if query num rows, if that means if at least one row has been returned, then we can go through the code to output the results. However, I'm quickly going to write what happens if there was nothing returned. If nothing has been returned, I'm just going to output. I'm just going to output here. Sorry, there were no products matching your search. There are no products. So basically, that means if it couldn't find the product you were talking about, it's just going to say, sorry, there were no products. Now, if we need to do this code here, so if there were rows returned, we need to now loop through them and output them to the user. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to first of all print h3 results. h3. Now what we need to do is we need to loop through it. So we're going to do a while loop, while product equals query fetch a sock. Now product now contains what the row it's currently on, all the data about that row. So in fact, I'm going to output a table here, make it nice and easy to read. So print table ID equals results table. I put a lot of IDs in elements, by the way, just so I can style it easier in CSS later, but I don't want to cover that in these tutorials. End the table here. So now we're going to have our table headers. So we're going to have th item ID. Let's just call it item number. That makes more sense to the user. I'm going to have name or product. I'm not going to bother displaying a keyword. I don't think the user cares, so I'm going to put in then price. th. Yeah. So now we need to go through the rows and output it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to print a row tag, which is a tr tag, and end the row tag at the bottom, but still within the loop, because we're going to have a row for every single item. So now we're going to print the cells. So we're going to have first cell is going to be is going to contain, what was it going to contain? It's going to contain the ID. So we go product ID. Very simple. And product name is next, but it's just called product in the database. So product. And what's the last thing? The price. Okay. Product price. And we should now have a very simple form. So if I test this, I go search product. So what do I know is in the database? I know that spade's in the database. So I'm going to search for spade. Search. There we go. Results. Item 1. Item number. Yeah, that's right. Item number 1. Product spade. Price 6. So we can make this a bit nicer. I don't want to do any. Actually, no. I'll do a tiny bit of CSS just to show how this can be neatened up a bit. Border hyphen style solid border hyphen width I've got a border around it now. Quicker way to do a border actually. Would that do it for the rows as well? I'm not sure. Probably because there's only one row. No, that's better. I'll just put that in. Shouldn't really use that nowadays, but if I just want to quickly outline the table, it's useful. So yeah, that's the table we've created, and we can neaten it up a bit more because I'm British. We're using pounds, so I can use the HTML entity for pound, which is that, I believe. Yep, so now we've got price £6. Now it's looking more like a results table. And you know, that could then be a link to the spade. So let's try putting in something that isn't in the database. So let's try putting in waffles. Waffles, search. Sorry, there were no products matching your search. Very simple error message. Well, not an error message, it's just saying it couldn't find anything. Let's try something else. Let's try mug. Here we go, we've got mug. Yeah. And also, a good thing about this search is, say you were being more specific, you could say I want a birthday mug. Birthday mug. Okay, that didn't work. I thought that might work. Maybe it's case sensitive. Oh, okay. What's going on? Okay, I'm just going to try something here. Nope. That's a bit weird actually, because I would have thought that that would return mug based on these wildcards. So it's all from products where product like search text. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, that is a way you can make a very simple search. Now I'll show you how you can sort of make this a little bit more in depth. So let's give the option to the user to search by either the product or the keyword. So for example, they might search for garden if they might want to search for what the category of the item is instead of the item itself. So how we can do this is in the form. If we put in a new option, we can do something like this. In fact, let's put it above the input box. So print. So search by. Put strong tags around this. And then I'm going to put an option. So radio, it's a radio button. So I think ID, so search type, name equals search type, radio, I think that's right, search type. If I then put next to this, this is going to be a default. So if I put next to this product, and then I put in another input type here, type equals radio, and give this an ID of search type, keyword, and a name of search type, and then put here keyword. Shouldn't have a slightly different looking form. Okay, I need to put in some spacing. Here it's search by product or keyword. So now I have the option. So I'm going to just default it to product. So what I want to do here is I'm going to put in selected. Oh, it's not selected, is it? Something else. Radio buttons isn't selected, it's called something else. Just need to quickly get what it is. Oh, of course it is, it's checked. So it's checked equals checked. Like that. Okay, there we go. So now it pre-selects product. So what we're now going to do is, here, it needs to be able to change what it uses. So we're going to also have another check here, and expand this to have an else if here. And that looks messy. Else. There we go. So else if not is set. What am I doing? Or empty. I'm now just going to make sure that the search type is set. Okay, so as soon as I just need to finish making sure the search type is set. Else if not is set, search type or it's empty, then I'm just going to copy this error message here, and it's just going to say error search type empty. Okay, some punctuation. Search type wasn't set. Else if everything's okay. Yeah. So here we're gonna have search type. Oh, you know what, I forgot to put in a value here. This is pretty basic stuff. So that I need to put in a value here. So value is going to equal if this is the wrong thing. Totally wrong thing. Right, okay. The value here is going to be product, and the value here is going to be keyword. This will be what the variable gets set to. So search type equals MySQL real escape string post search type. Now, I want to make sure that they are putting in something that I'm going to allow. So I'm going to say here, if search type doesn't equal product and search type doesn't equal keyword, I'm going to display another error message because someone has tried to do something like submit their own form to us, which is a potential vulnerability of the system. So I'm going to make sure that they can't submit whatever they want to me. So I'm going to say search type invalid if they try to do that. So that should stop that happening. So now the only thing I've got to change here is all I've got to do is make this a variable here. So all I have to do now is input search type and then put little backticks around it. So that should now allow me, if I want to, search by keyword rather than product. So let's just test this. So if here, so product, I'll try mug again to make sure it works. It works, that's good. Now I'm going to try by keyword, I'm going to search garden. And it works. Now got spade and the trowel come up because I searched by keyword and they have the garden keyword. So based on this small system I've created here, you should be able to think about how you can go about creating a much more advanced search script. It's really not that complicated. So yeah, that's the end of the tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more tutorials, check out my website. It's emcreations.co.uk with a hyphen, like em-creations.co.uk. I'll put a link up and everything. So yeah, hope you found this useful.